Welcome to Magic Hour. I'm your host, Paul Chappell, and it's finally the day, folks. Well, actually, it was yesterday, but we finally got Zack Snyder's Justice League. We've been waiting for this a long time, and guys, I'm excited because I went into the movie thinking it was going to suck. I really did think it was going to suck. I made a mistake of reading about 4 reviews. I think I read a review on AV Club, Entertainment Weekly, Hollywood Reporter, and another one, maybe Gizmodo. Anyway, they all trashed the movie. Some people were saying it was too long. Other people were saying, well, it didn't really make anything better. Are they joking? It didn't make anything better? This movie made almost everything better. In fact, I'm really mad at Josh Whedon right now. Can we arrest him for murdering this movie? If this is truly what Zack Snyder was going for, what was it, 5 years ago, 4 years ago? If this is really what he was planning to put out, it was a crime. It was a crime against humanity. Is all I can say. This movie was so much better in every way. That original movie that Josh Whedon butchered was, oh my God, it was mind-numbingly boring. First of all, it was just a boring freaking movie. I just can't believe how the difference. I've seen a lot of director's cut in my day, and I've seen the Apocalypse Now Redux was terrible. Amadeus was terrible. I mean, I have seen directors butcher some pretty good freaking movies. This is not one of those movies. So basically, let's start a little bit with the plot. The plot was all about the mother boxes. I felt like they took some cues from Lord of the Rings. You had this situation where Darkseid was attacking Earth, and all of Earth's forces came together. The Amazons, Atlanteans, and the humans. Everybody came together and fought Darkseid, and they won. It was like, well, that scene was straight out of Lord of the Rings. Well, whatever. Still good. Hercules, Ares, all these pretty much heroes and gods are fighting Darkseid. So, yeah, and in case you don't already know, I'm obviously going to have some spoilers, so you've been warned. But yeah, so there was so much more. Every character in the movie, every superhero, I should say, had a backstory and an arc, especially Cyborg. In fact, I think Ray Fisher should sue just for how they butchered his storyline completely. They took out everything that would have made a difference about his character. You know, I barely remember the original Justice League. He just appears in the movie. There was no setup for him in that original movie. I think he should sue Josh Whedon just for what he did to his character. Seriously, forget all the harassment or whatever. Just sue Josh Whedon for butchering his character, because he was one of the best things about this movie. I thought this movie was going to be very, very freaking long.
It's a long story.
It did not feel like 4 hours, but let me qualify that. Now, the fact is, I was watching this from my house. So I had time to, get up and get coffee and stop it when I needed to go to the bathroom, all that. So obviously I didn't have the same experience I would have had if this had been in the theater, but I think they would have cut it up into 2 movies. I kind of don't see how they would have made this 2 movies. I don't see where that line would have been drawn. I have to go back and watch it, and I will be going back and watching it. But yeah, I don't think this version would have played in the theater. That's part of one of the things I didn't like about it. It was the fact that the aspect ratio that they used was kind of a square IMAX thing, and I did not like that. So on one hand, they formatted the movie to play in movie theaters, but it was more in line with a viewing experience that you had at home. So let me just say that. Also, if we're on the subject of stuff I didn't like, there were some musical choices that I didn't understand. Not to say that the music itself was totally awful. It was, but I was scratching my head, and I'm talking about the music with lyrics in it. I'm not talking about the score. The score is great. Whenever I hear Wonder Woman's theme, it gets my blood up. I really do love that theme. Also, Superman's themes, all that music from the Man of Steel. Whenever it played, it got me emotional. In fact, everything about Superman's resurrection was a lot better. Oh my God. The fact that they gave him some time to reflect on who he was and what he had lost. And going back to his childhood home, all those scenes were magnificent. And I don't think any of them were in the original movie. And like I said, the mother box stuff made a lot more sense. They set that up really well. The movie had more stakes because some people actually died in it, mostly Amazons, but there was some sacrifices that were made in this movie that raised the stakes and made you think, hey, I'm kind of concerned. But I mean, we know the superheroes weren't going to die, but they made me think. There was a few times where I thought I thought Cyborg was really in trouble. It made me forget that I was watching a superhero movie where the superheroes obviously going to triumph in the end, but it made me kind of concerned. Even Flash, there was a couple times where I was worried about him. Speaking of Flash, Flash had such a better backstory. Everything you see him doing, trying to make it in life as this regular guy when he has these superpowers. I like that little twist on his story. Batman had more to do. I didn't feel like he was so essential in the original movie. He was just kind of there, while especially that scene where they fight Superman. The whole Justice League fight Superman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and Aquaman. Then Batman's over to the side, just kind of watching. And that's another thing I want to mention about the film. They did leave a few scenes intact that were good, actually good from the original movie. And I realize now because Zack Snyder has said there isn't a frame in this movie that Josh Whedon directed. Everything you see in the movie is stuff that he originally directed. So some of the scenes they brought back. The scene where the Justice League fight Superman, obviously. That was a great scene. It played just as it played in the original. Let me think of some other. The scene where Batman meets with Flash the first time. That was mostly unchanged. Pretty good scene. Now that we have more of Flash's backstory, it made a lot more sense when we actually see him for the first time. Here's one of the things that I didn't understand. They said Josh Whedon brought all this funny to the movie that wasn't in Zack Snyder's version, but a lot of the jokes that was in the Josh Whedon movie was intact. For instance, that scene where Flash asks Batman, "What's your superpower again?" And Batman says, "I'm rich." That joke was still in the movie. And it actually shows how money actually is a superpower because Superman, it's revealed about halfway through the movie that Martha Kent has lost her farm. The bank foreclosed on it. So at the end of the movie, Bruce Wayne, of course, buys the farm back. Superman asks him, "Well, how'd you do it?" And Batman says, he just deadpans, I bought the bank. Great joke, but it also emphasized the fact that, yes, money can be a superpower because if you're an honest person like Clark Kent or Superman could have obviously got the money for his money. He could have flown into Gotham or wherever, Metropolis, and literally picked up a bank and got the money. And nobody would have been able to do a thing about it. He could have probably gotten away with it, but he's an honest person. He would never do something like that. So the fact that, yes, Batman is able to do some things that even he can't do. Just the fact that he's rich, just perfect joke. And there was some other instances, but I just thought the balance between the darkness and the few jokes they had in the movie was perfect. In fact, there was a scene where Commissioner Gordon is talking with the Justice League, and he turns around and everybody's gone, and like Flash is the only one there. That joke, I don't remember whether that was in the Josh Whedon version, but like I said, Zack Snyder says everything in this movie is stuff that he filmed. So I just have to assume that was his joke too. So yeah, I had a fear that it was going to be too dark, and it was kind of dark. And I'm just not talking figuratively. I'm talking about literally. This movie was freaking dark. Every scene. There was a scene where Cyborg's mother's talking to the principal of his high school, and the freaking it's like, why is everything so dark in this freaking room? Somebody turn on a freaking light. They have no lights in this DC universe. It was really weird at how dark it was. So that's my other criticism. I think I pretty much covered all my criticism. Oh, the one other criticism I would make is that the fact that all that stuff in Themyscira was kind of hokey. The whole thing with them starting the fires so that Diana knew what was going on. Does no one have a cell phone? You can't call her. Really, you gotta set fires. You gotta shoot the arrow of Artemis. The queen of the Amazon shoots this arrow like 100 miles or something to Cyprus, and it sets a temple on fire. And Diana sees it on television, so she knows there's an invasion coming. I'm like, really? That was kind of hokey. I didn't really like that. I thought they had a lantern in the movie, not the Green Lantern, but a lantern in that original scene where they're fighting Darkseid. I felt like they could have done more with that. He shoots a green beam, and that was pretty much it out of his ring. I'm like, he can create any kind of object he needs to fight these people, and he's shooting a beam. So I thought they really dropped the ball with the lantern. But everything else, I'm trying to think of. I don't want to miss anything because I really did enjoy this movie. I am recommending it. I would give this, out of 5, I would give this a 4.5. Like I said, there was a few things I didn't like, but on the whole, it was a vast improvement. I'm probably going to watch it again today because I have nothing else planned for today, and I just enjoyed it on every level. Oh, the thing that hurts me the most about this movie is the fact that they say the movie's not even canon. They say the Josh Whedon version is actually canon. And there were so many, if you watch the epilogue of this movie, there were so many setups for other movies. There was a setup for a solo Batman movie. There was a setup for another Justice League movie with Darkseid. And it looked badass. Joker, that scene with Joker in the future. And Batman has this team of mercenaries or something, Mira and Deathstroke and Cyborg. But I just want to see these movies. But they're telling us that no, none of this is canon. This is just a little thing we were doing. We're just letting Zack Snyder finish his vision, and he didn't get paid, by the way. He didn't get even paid for this. So, but of course, I've heard that Warner Bros. Spent something like $70 million on this. So, whew, a lot of money for something that's not even canon. So, well, let me just shut up about it. It was a good movie. It really just hit me on every level. It tugged at my heartstrings. It was action packed. A lot more action than the Josh Whedon version. Just everything better, but it was pretty freaking long. So get ready for it being long. But if you're a true fan like I am of these characters, it'll go by really fast. But that's all I got for today. I'd like to thank my subscribers. Encourage you, hit that subscribe button. Give me a comment down below. Give me a like, dislike, whatever. And ring that bell if you're already a subscriber so you know when my next video drops. And I will see you when I see you. Thanks for watching.